Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of the Belzona podcast. And this week we have something very special for you. As I mentioned, this week, our international team of Belzona corporate and Belzona authorized distributors are attending MINExpo 2021 in Las Vegas in the USA. Now, MINExpo is the biggest mining expo and conference in the world, and it takes place in Las Vegas every 4 years. We're very, very happy to be a part of this event for the second time, actually, and look forward to meeting lots of mining professionals and experts. You can follow our LinkedIn page for live updates from our colleagues on the ground in the event this week. So from that introduction, you may have guessed by now that our conversation today will focus about mining. And for that conversation, we've invited a very special guest, Nello Ferrari, Business Development Manager at the HITA Comercio e Serviços. Apologies if I've pronounced that incorrectly, but Belzona's authorized distributor in Brazil. So the HITA distributorship, led by three brothers, Diego, Alejandro, and Pablo HITA, has celebrated its 26th anniversary this year. The HITA's distributorship has been a member of the Belzona Sapphire Club, the exclusive club of the top 20 performing distributors throughout the world, since the club's inception in 2015, and have consistently been in the top 3 best-selling distributors in the Belzona global network. So the HITAs attribute their professional success a lot to the great team of consultants that they have been working with in many years. So just before we crack on with the interview, just a quick fact sheet on Brazil in terms of mining capabilities. So Brazil is one of the biggest global players in the mining industry. It's the world's largest producer of niobium, second largest exporter of iron ore and manganese, and among the largest producers of bauxite and tin. Iron ore accounts for around 80% of Brazil's mining exports and provides 30% of the global demand. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce today's guest, Nello. Nello, welcome to the Belzona podcast. Very, very happy to have you here today. How are you doing?
Oh, Richard, good morning. Good afternoon for you. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to talk on behalf of ITA. I apologize in advance if my English is not quite clear. I'll do my best. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm really good, actually. Really good. I was going to say this isn't obviously the first time we've met. I know you were over in the UK. How long ago was it now? It was probably about 18 months or so.
It's probably a little bit more, maybe.
A little bit more, okay. And you mentioned your English skills. You did a very, very good presentation on HITAs and all of your mining applications for me and the team I work with back then. So I'm sure we'll have no problems today.
Let's go for it.
Great. So Nello, as we've mentioned in the introduction, you represent the HITA distributorship, which is Belzona's authorized distributor in Brazil. Very, very successful Belzona distributor in Brazil. Again, as we mentioned in the introduction. But what are the main industries that you guys work on?
So Brazil is a country of continental size with large diversity of resources.
Yeah.
And as the exclusive distributor in Brazil, we need to serve a wide range of industry. But if I were to stand out, would certainly be oil and gas and mining.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So how and if you like, when did HITA, the HITA distributorship, start providing services to the mining industry in particular?
We could say that our history of supporting mining industry began about 20 years ago with visits by Alejandro around several mining across the country. And little by little, he started to bring another consultants on board to be closer to the client and provide more personalized technical support. Yeah. But if I were to highlight an event where we understood how to serve, I'm sorry. But if I were to highlight a critical event where we understood how to service and gain respect in mining, it will be about 17 years ago with a shaft repair.
Okay, so let's explore this a little bit more then. Have you got a bit more details about this shaft repair?
Sure. The main problem was a failure in lubrication on that shaft. But this shaft is a part of the largest copper mill in Brazil. And for the customer, the traditional maintenance system would be replace that shaft by a new one, and it will be implied in a large amount of work, with disassemble the roof of the building, hiring a crane, and the process will take about a month. But the biggest problem was not just the replacement process. To purchase a shaft as big as 14 inches of diameter, more than a ton, would take more than 3 months from manufacturing to deliver it to the client. So, in other words, something around 30% of the copper ore production in Brazil would be compromised around all this 3 months time. And according to the client, this mill represent $1 million of lost revenue. This mill, when stopped, represent for the company $1 million per hour of revenue.
Wow, that's that's a phenomenal cost for an asset owner to have there. So, how was Belzona applied, and how did it help the customer overall?
The shaft maintenance system with Belzona allowed to be carried out with the shaft mounted. And not going too deep, we prepare the surface mechanically and on site. And afterwards, we apply Belzona 1111, and all that took about 12 hours of preparation and application, plus 12 hours of curing time. So the maintenance shutdown repair with Belzona took for 24 hours.
All right.
And from this application, we gain a lot of respect with the customer, because he changes 3-4 months of shutdown for 24 hours of shutdown. And after that, we start to get even more critical services.
Yeah, so like you just mentioned there, the difference in the two options, I suppose, that your client faced, the month of shutdown or a couple of months of shutdown versus 24 hours, that's quite an impressive option to be able to offer.
Yeah, but the story does not stop there. In addition to the fast return to operation, this shaft, repaired with Belzona, operate for 10 years without failure.
Wow.
So, and the client was only replaced the shaft because he already purchased a new shaft, and he had to justify, the manager had to justify the cost of this new shaft sitting in their warehouse. So they planned a 45-day shutdown and did the replacement, but the repaired shaft with Belzona is kept in stock until today for use if it's necessary. I can say that certainly the manager is in love with us, is in love with Belzona after this amazing service.
And in love with Hita as well, I can imagine.
Sure.
Absolutely. Good. Okay. So so you mentioned that one of the applications you could offer there. I mean, what types of mines do you mostly work on in Brazil? Is it a variety or?
Yeah. Brazil is one of the biggest ore producers in the world.
Yeah.
With a wide range of metals. But if I were to highlight, it's certainly iron, copper, as this client, and gold.
Okay. Interesting.
Copper.
So copper, copper. So what do you do to build and strengthen these relationships with the mining asset owners and your clients, essentially?
Yeah, we question ourselves every day how to deliver a technical service in a personalized way. We're still learning. We are always learning.
Yeah.
But in 26 years of history, ITA thinks that it happens in basic two steps, two main features. The first would be having technical support with a team of engineers and applicators trained, able to respond with the best solution possible, knowing about the industry problems and knowing how Belzona can help on this industry problem. And the second step would certainly be giving this technical support to the client, giving the technical support in the personalized way to that client. Today, we have more than 60 technical consultants spread across Brazil to provide a 24/7 customer service. And those guys are ready to understand the problem, to bring to us, so we can engineer the best solution possible.
Okay. So how do you as a business assure to your clients that this technical assistance is available?
Certainly, we invest a lot in training. Basically, we are having meetings and training monthly, talking about a variety of industry problems and giving to all our engineers and our consultant teams updates about Belzona and talk about Belzona solutions for that problem. In a nutshell, we try to educate our entire team on how the solutions that ITA proposes with the use of Belzona can increase operating time of assets and reduce downtime. The main idea is that the consultant show up to the client as a person present with technical background, who behind him has the entire engineer team of ITA, and who behind ITA has an amazing manufacturer creating excellent product that is Belzona. So we try to show a vision that everything's work in a technical way by a network.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so could you? We've touched on kind of the services and what you offer in terms of your levels of assistance. Could you discuss maybe or give a few examples of a number of the solutions that you've been offering to these types of mines?
As I said before, we are always thinking as ITA how to apply Belzona to increase operational time and reducing downtime maintenance. And looking for mining, the best fits are certainly Belzona 1812 as an anti-abrasive system, and Belzona 4111 as a fast curing concrete repair system.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so I tell you what, let's have a bit more of a closer look at, for example, the 4111 there, which is, as you mentioned, the Belzona fast curing concrete repair system. Look, there are a lot of concrete repair solutions out there on the market, many different price points. For example, I can imagine, certainly in your region, you be the expert there. What do you think sets Belzona's offering apart from the competition, and how does using the Belzona system benefit your customers?
Richard, that's quite interesting because as a civil engineer, I'm passionate about concrete.
Okay, so, good. I can tell.
So the question that I ask myself almost every day is also one of the ones that I hear the most from the clients.
Okay.
It's why to apply Belzona to repair concrete.
Okay.
But to answer this, I think the main point is to understand the customer problem.
Okay.
And in the other hand, to understand the features that the 4111 has that can help to solve those problems.
Okay.
I think talking about concrete, the first thing that comes up to mind certainly is compressive strength.
Yeah.
Belzona 4111 is a product that reaches over 90 MPa megapascals of compressive strength. It's quite impressive value. The first time that I saw that, I think that was incredible. But almost every structure were dimensioned to work with concrete, and very well dimensioned. And concrete has an average compressive strength of 30 MPa.
Okay.
So if you're just looking to compressive strength, Belzona 4111 will have quite specific applications that can be anchoring or repairing very large, heavy equipment bases. That's it. Because despite being a very impressive value, concrete works well in compressive strength. So compressive strength, I think it's not the best answer on why to apply Belzona to repair concrete. So we have other ways to think, and other points could be vibration resistance and adhesion. Concrete by nature is a very rigid material that it's okay, the compressive resistant, but does not behave well with dynamic loads and vibration. It tends to become brittle. So if you have an equipment, a crusher, a mill, a pump that works by transferring vibration to the concrete, will probably have a high frequency maintenance.
Yeah.
Repairing the concrete with almost every year. Belzona, being a polymer, has a better plastic behavior. So it's more resilient and absorb the vibration pretty in a better way than concrete.
Yeah. Okay.
And another point is when you are going to reapply concrete damage by vibration. The adhesion of the new concrete on the concrete that was damaged will not be good.
No.
Because the concrete adhesion happens chemically when it's still fresh. I don't know if you can understand me. When you're still applying a high volume of concrete, one after other.
Yeah.
So when you're applying a new concrete over a concrete that is cured, the adhesion, it will probably generate adhesion failures.
Yeah.
Belzona adhesion works in a mechanical way, not a chemical way as concrete.
Yeah.
So Belzona penetrates into the concrete and even into the metal profile.
Yeah.
Creating a very strong bond, a very strong adhesion between new concrete and old concrete, new concrete and Belzona, or new concrete and metal. So it makes the maintenance system, concrete and metal, concrete and Belzona, works and behave as a single body.
Yeah.
In other words, an answer of why to apply Belzona to repair concrete could be applying Belzona for situations where there is a frequent maintenance in concrete due to low adhesion or vibration damage. But for me, Richard, it's still not the biggest reason.
Okay. So the obvious next question is, what is the biggest reason, though?
So, when you're thinking about concrete maintenance, in any kind of industry, you bring together an operation shutdown. Okay? And it brings together the reduction of the capacity of the production and product sale. So, if the clients do the maintenance with concrete, it implies in a shutdown as long as the carry time of that concrete. It should take 20 days, 28 days.
Yeah.
Just to let the product to cure. Apart from all the demolition, all the application. If that maintenance is carried out with conventional grout, this time can be less and reaching something around 5 days to cure. Just to cure. Depends on the product. And Belzona achieves all the properties that we talked, like 90 MPa of compression strength, excellent adhesion to concrete and to metal, making them to work as a single body. And the plastic behavior that it's good in vibration situations. All that Belzona reaches in 16 hours.
Yeah.
In the end of the day, Richard, it's up to the customer to decide.
Yeah.
Probably he'll think, how long does my shutdown last.
Yeah.
And looking for a mine to repair a crusher base or a silo, it's better to stop the production. It's better to produce less product for 28 days, for 5 days, or if you do the maintenance in 16 hours of curing time, brings more profit for the company. And working Belzona this time, all these years, makes clear to me that the customer is the one that can answer why to apply Belzona to repair concrete.
Yeah.
We only expose the facts.
Very, very well said then, Nello. Very well said. Do you know what? In fact, it's when we had our catch-up call, let's say, before we recorded this, and we spoke through this, actually, especially the concrete repair solutions. You described them in a particular way. Can you remember?
I can say that 4111 blows my mind.
It blows your mind. That was it. Excellent.
Blows my mind and blows the client's mind. When the client sees the features, that's perfect. That's a quite impressive product.
Excellent. It's a very good way to describe it as well, and very eloquently put as well. So thank you for that. Okay, so I know we've spoken about services. We've spoken about some typical applications that you've done. I'm quite interested to hear, actually, past 15 months. We've all experienced. I think the common term is unprecedented times, isn't it? Everyone loves to use that. I'm sure you guys in Brazil are no different over there. How has the mining industry been affected by the pandemic?
Yeah, Richard, as we know, the pandemic started in China. Okay. China is the largest mining customer market for Brazil. So here in Brazil, economically, mining market felt the reduction of consumption right on the start of the pandemic.
Yeah, okay.
But also, the first country to hit economically was China. Yeah. Okay. Increase demand and increase the price of mining ore. And this scenario brings to Brazil a need to the mining companies, a need to take advantage of this high sale price.
Yeah.
So mining companies here in Brazil are trying to produce more, deliver more to the customer. And it implies directly in the maintenance routine. It needs to be faster, and it needs to happen. If you have a shutdown, it needs to happen in the shortest time possible. So they're trying to produce in never cost. So I can say mining market in Brazil today is hot.
It's booming.
It's booming.
Good. So what steps did you guys as Hita distributorship take to adapt to this, new normal, if you like, and has it impacted your position in the market?
Yeah. Of course, as Hita, our first concern, our major concern, without a doubt, was to guarantee the safety and the health for our entire team. And afterwards, the challenge was to keep the house organized, able to respond to the customer in the technical way that we know, and to deliver a quality service in a safe way.
Yeah.
So the new normal taught us how to work in home office, how to communicate to the client in a different way.
Yeah.
So we need to show to that client that besides everything that was happening, ITA was alive and online.
Yeah. Good.
And the whole team was ready to serve, was ready to deliver the same quality already known for over 25 years.
Yeah.
And I can say that the customer, by feeling that security, start to trust us even more and to ask for even more critical services. He needs to, the client is living a moment that he cannot have doubts. So he searches for someone that he trusts.
Yeah.
And it takes the client for us. That's good. So we had an increase on the demand.
Oh, excellent.
And again, we learn a lot.
Yeah.
We start using social network, online meeting. The main point is to communicate with the client. Seek to understand. We seek to understand any problem that the client has on the clearly way, on the main clear way that could be. So we can say that we learn how to transform the face-to-face visitation into our online visitation, and even how to create an active communication, an active online communication with the clients.
Okay. So how has this kind of change in approach changed your position in the market?
It's been challenging, Richard.
Okay.
To attract new customer or to propose new solution to a customer that already know us, our main challenge was how to fit the whole idea of the digital marketing puzzle into the universe of the industry maintenance. We studied a lot, but for us, the first step, the turnkey step, was to understand the clear point. That was the engineer who is feeling the problem is also in home office, using the internet to look for solution. So if that guy is searching for possible solutions, they must reach us.
Yeah.
So, and once the engineer find ITA's profile on internet, find ITA's blog, the engineer needs to see that we have technical background, that we are able to deliver quality service, and mainly the engineer needs to see that we have the capacity to solve his problem. And that's the active communication that we are trying to make to the client all day.
Yeah.
But I can say that as the cherry on top of our digital marketing campaigns, we hold monthly webinars, open, to talk about traditional maintenance problems and how ITA can solve these problems by using Belzona.
Yeah.
So it has been a difficult time for everyone, certainly, but it also has brought a lot of learning for us.
Yeah. No, it sounds like you're taking a very dynamic approach to it. Okay, so look, I'm sure what we tend to do is when we have a distributor like yourself or you know a contractor on, we're very keen to find out if you guys have you know particular stories or a particular memory where you know you guys have worked on an application where maybe you know there was thought to be no solution to, and you've gone in and you've offered something you know that was out of the blue, if you like. Anything come to mind for yourself or?
Richard, I think the shaft, without a doubt,
Okay.
it's a pretty impressive one. But we already talked about it.
Yeah.
So the solution that comes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I didn't mean to interrupt that. I was just saying we've also talked about the mind-blowing solutions as well.
So that could be one. The solution that comes up to my mind was an emergency repair of a base of a primary crusher in a mining industry. And that's a quite good example on how 4111 can blow minds. I believe, Richard, you remember that story, the story that I will tell. This one we received national and even international recognition in mining magazines and also won a Belzona award. But the best part of winning a Belzona award was the opportunity of meeting you, as you said on the beginning, and the opportunity of knowing Belzona head office down Harrogate. That was certainly the best part.
Excellent. And, you know, it was an absolute pleasure for you guys to come over. And like I mentioned at the start, honestly, the presentation that you gave, I think this was experienced by the team as well. We've never heard anyone speak so passionately and eloquently about, you know, the applications and the work that you guys have been doing over in Brazil. So yeah, I very much remember that, even though it was, you know, almost 2 years ago. But very, very impressive. But you know, for the importance of the listeners who haven't been party to the details of that particular application, could you share the details, please?
Sure. It's a quite good story, and the situation was due to a operation failure. One of the 4 supports of the base of the largest copper crusher in Brazil broke. But that's the
In
main
fact,
point.
Just while we have you on that, I think, and this is where all of our listeners who are on YouTube might benefit from this. We might be able to show some pictures just as you carry on with the story. We'll try and get some pictures. Our wonderful editor Miles here is smiling and nodding. We can get some pictures to show, you know, the work that you guys are doing while you continue to explain it so well, Nano. So please, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, it's a quite good idea.
Yeah.
But Richard, before we talk about the service with Belzona, I think it's important to understand the scenario, okay? And think what the alternatives would be.
Okay.
The year was 2018, and the damage happened far from a period of any shutdown. of the client. So the customer could take the risk, continue operating the crusher until a plant shut down.
Yeah.
But it brings a risk of increasing the damage of the base, expanding to the 4 support points, and it could create an even bigger issue. But the point is the repair shutdown at a base of a crusher is not quite simple.
No.
And it takes at least 30 days. This crusher is the initial stage of the copper production. So when you stop this equipment, would compromise the entire production chain and even the raw material supply contract to the final customer.
Yeah.
And this equipment, this crusher, has the capacity to produce 3,000 tons per hour of copper.
Wow.
And if we turn it into dollars, 1 day of this equipment stopped, it implies approximately in $5 million per day at selling price.
Wow. Okay. So again, it kind of comes down to this: the cost of the shutdown is phenomenal. Okay. So impressive. What was the solution that you could offer then to help this?
So again, that's for me, it's the main answer of the question: why to apply Belzona 4111 for repairing concrete.
Excellent.
And the client has the alternative of a shutdown that would last about 30 days. The alternative that we offered was an emergency maintenance that was basically partial demolition only for the damaged area, followed by the application of the Belzona 4111. The execution time was 12 hours of demolition and application of Belzona 4111 plus 16 hours of curing. And for our luck, the client chose this alternative.
Excellent. So, I mean, you mentioned this is back in 2018. Is the crusher still in service?
In 2019.
Or 2019, sorry.
No, the service happened in 2018. But in the year of 2019, the client inspected the emergency replacement that took place 1 year. That happened one year ago. That happened in only 1 point of support, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
And this made him to decide to do all the base support points permanently with Belzona 4111. So he planned a shutdown. He did all the base with 4111 in 2018, and it's still operating. It's perfect.
Excellent.
And that's one of the service that again blows my mind.
Yeah.
That I'm so proud of, and the service, that's the kind of service that makes me passionate about Belzona.
Yeah.
And proud about all ITA teams.
Yeah.
All our consultants, our engineer, our applicators, our logistic. That's the kind of service that happens in a way that makes me proud of our team.
Excellent. Nano, look, it's been an absolute pleasure. I honestly thank you so much for coming on today and talking so eloquently offering such an expert advice and actually really bringing your passion to explaining all of this to us and to talk about the situation in Brazil in the mining industry. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Was quite fun. It was a pleasure talking to you, Richard. And for sure, I'm looking for the time that we can talk face to face and have some fun.
That about wraps it up for this week's episode of the Belzona podcast. We hope you guys have enjoyed the content. Please remember to like, subscribe, or follow so you do not miss out on any future Belzona content. As always, you can find us on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube, or simply go to your go-to podcast provider. We'll be there, don't worry. I want to say thank you very much to today's guest, Nello, and also the team at Heaters for taking us through their experience in the mining industry in Brazil. We hope everybody's had a great time at MineExpo over in Las Vegas if you guys have attended. As always, and I forgot to mention at the start actually, but we now have a dedicated email address for the Belzona podcast. Very, very interested to get you guys involved. So please drop us an email with your thoughts, feedback, question, or if you guys have got any suggestions on future topics that you'd like us to cover on kind of future episodes, you can get in touch at podcast@belzona.com. That about wraps it up. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it and we'll see you soon.